The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on Sunday.
This is about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Guns up.
Let's go, baby. Giddy up.
Wow.
Nailed it.
We're back. We're back. You nailed it. You did it this time, buddy. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You did it. You
in 15 weeks.
You clicked that unmute button and you let your voice fly. You let it be heard.
Let my voice be heard. Look,
you let it ring from the mountain tops of North Carolina. Or a valley. I don't know if you're in a valley. You're not. I've been to your place. It doesn't seem very mountainous.
No, like foothills at best. But no, I'm in a maybe. I work best when I work the best when I'm under a lot of pressure. And today I'm under just a lot of pressure.
That's true. I've watched you this morning as we are as we're pre-recording. You forgot it was like your kid's birthday. You forgot you were in a wedding. You forgot your computer.
Nashville's got me all messed up, man.
You forgot you had a big event tonight at your distillery. So I'm not so sure that you do your best under pressure.
When it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. No, I just got back from Nashville. And when we came back on Tuesday, we were supposed to come back on Monday. We ended up coming back on Tuesday. So it like throws the whole week off. So then yesterday was Thursday and I had to have a gray suit for this wedding that I'm the best man in. And he calls me yesterday at like 5:30 and he's like, "Hey dude, just want to make sure you got everything good to go." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm picking up my suit sometime tomorrow afternoon." And he's like, "Well, the rehearsal's at 11 a.m. at the golf course tomorrow."
You don't need your suit. You don't need your suit.
Right. That's what I was thinking. But he was like 11 a.m. And I was like, "Oh yeah, well, I've got my podcast at 11, but as soon as that over," and he's like, "No, dude, the rehearsal's at 11." And I was
does
like,
that?
Oh shit. So I called you and then you were like, "Yeah, let's do it super early in the morning rather than late at night," which is good because I forgot that I had the Nooner Nation podcast last night, which I was a guest on. So I would have missed that. Plus I DJ'd last night for a trivia night. Anyway, got up at 6:30 this morning or 6 o'clock this morning, did birthday with the sun at 6:30 a.m., did all the presents. He got a telescope, had to put that together, drove to the studio, forgot my laptop, had to go back, came back. Here I am. Here we go.
Either way, yeah, I lived vicariously through you while you were out in Nashville. I saw that you were taking photos with a bunch of different cops and hanging out with people all over wherever you were. I mean, yay sports. I don't know what games you were at, or I don't care. But I did see you were wearing the shirt that you wore today. Did anyone attack you? Were you jumped in a parking lot, tailgating anywhere because you were wearing this LeBron James shirt?
Well, I was with Dan Holloway and Ross Patterson, and Dan Holloway, who's just on Tucker Carlson, he was wearing a defund politician shirt. Ross, who's bigger than life, he's like 6 foot, I think he's like 6'4", but he was wearing a impeach Biden shirt, and then I was wearing this one. And we separated seats because I wanted to go with Lázaro Lopez, who's a guy on the network who has a mullet and he wears a crop top and short booty shorts. He's hilarious. But I was having a lot of fun with him. And I was like, dude, I'm sitting with Lázaro Lopez in the last row because I don't sports either. So we're walking up to the last row. I was all alone wearing this shirt. And like this one dude gets up and he was like, "Hey, that's disrespectful." And then another dude like throws popcorn at me. Well, then like 4 dudes stand up. And they were like, "Fuck LeBron James." And I was like, "LeBron, I never heard of her." And then people started laughing. And like some dude was like, "Man, that's funny." And then I was like, all right, well, I got to my seat. And I didn't go and get any popcorn or beer the whole game because I didn't want to walk through those crowds by myself.
You scared little man, you.
Oh, but man, it got so many looks. And then like I was crossing the street and the cop was like looking at my shirt. He was like looking at it. And then I was like, yeah, LeBron. He was like, gotcha. So you want to get a picture? He's like, absolutely not.
I can't do that. I'd be fired. Oh man, we're gonna talk about that too. So on today's show, guys, the main topic we are going to get into is Dog the Bounty Hunter has entered the chase for Brian Laundrie, however you pronounce that turd's name. He has entered the chase for that. He has, look at me, I'm the FBI now. He has taken over the ship, the manhunt for Brian, and we'll talk about that, and that is going to lead us to talk about our experience with manhunts and a little bit about why policing is different than bounty hunting as far as the rules and the approach. There's some similarities, some differences. We'll talk about our experiences there. And we are also going to talk about some crazy censorship happening, particularly in YouTube, but all over the place in culture when it comes to the V. And
are we allowed to say censorship? Are we allowed to say censorship?
I don't think so.
Is that one of the words?
YouTube may not be happy that we're even saying the word, the C word. Yeah,
say the C word for now.
We're going to talk about people who refuse to subject themselves to the V and the fallout that's happening to creators and normal citizens alike. But guys, thank you so much for listening or watching. So if you're watching this today, because I am actually committed to this show, unlike Tansey, who is a fair weather host of the Failure to Stop podcast, because I am committed and I appreciate you, the listeners, the Wolf Pack. I consider myself just one of you. Tansey, on the other hand, feels like he can come and go at will as a host, and you are subject to him and his schedule. I am here for you in the chat this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. As promised, I will be here talking and mocking Tansey for the entire length of the show, however it goes. We will just be ripping him to shreds in the comments while he's in some tight pant gray suit on a golf course, being a bro, drinking a seltzer, whatever the crap he's doing today, being a terrible father, leaving his child at home on his birthday to play with his own little telescope. The kid's going to have his little, how old is he? 7? Is this your 7? Yeah. He turned 7 and his dad is nowhere to be found while he stares into space in his telescope, looking at the moon, wishing the man on the moon would come down and be his daddy because daddy's gone at a golf course. Anyway.
Yeah, he's going to stare into the sun all day, just burn his eyes out. Is this what you want, Dad? Is this what you want?
I said all that to say this. We got a show lined up for you, and I appreciate you. We'll be in the comments. It's pre-recorded, but hey, we'll be here. And if you're listening in your car, you're like, hey, it's Sunday afternoon at 3 when I'm listening to this. I don't give a shit if you guys are live or not. Anyway, I don't want to sit there and watch you guys live. I listen to it back. Great. You're the real MVP. We appreciate you too. Thanks for going to Apple Podcasts and dropping a 5-star review. And a rating, I should say, and typing a review. We've crossed 1,000. We need tons more. We need 2,000. We need 2,500 as the next marker. 2,500 is the next marker for reviews. So let's get on it, Wolfpack. Let's go. Guns up, giddy up.
What do we do at 2,500? We celebrate somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you said you were doing the truffle shuffle.
I could do that.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
On air. Just
a reel, an Instagram reel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could do the
It'll be great.
Shuffle. I don't know why it has to be me. This is punishment for not being able to do it live.
This is punishment
for having to do the show an hour early today.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys can come up with some kind of crazy thing that we do at 2,500 and we'll comply with your demands. I don't know. We'll see. But go to failuretostop.com, get your merch like the LeBron James Never Heard of a shirt. Support the show that way if you want. And support our sponsors. We'll get to the ad reads in a little bit. And if you hear those, please support those. And the reviews. Andy, what do we got here? What have people been saying about the show? Char Watchmaker says, fabulous. Came for the January 6th episode and stayed after Tansey's story being chased by the naked woman and her turtle. Thanks, Char. Appreciate that. I think I said char, like what you do on a piece of meat. But I think it's probably Char.
Anyway. Oh, and to the dude that shot us out in the comments and said, well, after going through the first 10 minutes of them sharing all the attaboys to themselves, if you just type an attaboy, we'll read your attaboy, and then you can be cool on the show, too.
Yeah. Attaboys. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Patting ourselves on the back.
Panzer for Gaming says, my new source of news, chill out period, and workout podcast. I've been a longtime viewer of Mike the Cop and love his videos. When I finally found out y'all had a podcast, I was actually 4 episodes late to the premiere. Y'all have been a source I have been used to keep help keep me mentally healthy and make my time keeping myself physically healthy enjoyable. Thank you for being a different view to the table. Congrats on making it this far without being canceled. And to your health and future. Navy JROTC Cadet Seaman Paden, guns up, giddy up.
Guns up, giddy
I don't know
up,
what that
brother.
means. Does that mean he's a high schooler?
If we're
Okay.
Contributing to your mental health, then you are fucked, young man.
That's a bad day.
If we are helping your mental health,
Good luck in math class.
Good luck. Good luck.
All right. Steve DeKasha. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. As a former law enforcement officer, love the show. Gets me through my commute out in California. Keep up the great work. Yeah. Just go to Austin like every other Californian and ruin that place too.
If you ever figure out who LeBron is while you're out there, let me know. Still haven't heard of her.
Ryan Abernathy. Oh, that's a name. That's a blast from the past. First time on Apple Podcasts. I've listened to you since Off the Cuff Mike just went to the world of Apple. So now all my reviews count.
Yes,
Guns
Ryan.
up, giddy up. Ryan Abernathy. There you go, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. We had a really awesome Hump Day Hero story, and I thought you wrote it so well, Tansey. So
thank you.
What do we got going on for this week's Hump Day Hero, which by now I hope someone at the Cincinnati Police Department has showed him that we gave him the love and he can be recognized and realize other people out there know what's up.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably a chance that he's already reached out to us. Being the piece of shit that I am about 140 messages missed. So as soon as I get a chance to go through all those, I'm sure he's in there somewhere because they said he was going to reach out to us. And so maybe we'll get a call in with him on a future episode. But today's Hump Day Hero, which I figured out that the Wolfpack, you guys kind of gamed us on this one. You chose a Hump Day Hero and then you Wolfpacked us by having all of your friends tell us to pick the same guy. And it worked.
Yeah,
it worked. So maybe that's what
Mission
it takes.
accomplished.
If you want your Hump Day Hero to be selected, get
Gotta
all your
respect
buddies.
the game, man.
Just send us one message, because when I see the same name like 16 times, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll look into this. But I'm glad I did, because today's Hump Day Hero is Officer Al Staples, and he looks like an Al Staples. So
he looks like an Al Staples. He looks like he should have been the guy. What's the show? Did I do that? Like Urkel, but what was the show? Family Matters. He looks like he should have been the dad in Family Matters.
He should have been the dad in Family Matters.
Yes,
or
that's
like
exactly who Al
or
is.
like Al on Good Morning America. Like he could replace Al on Good Morning America and be the.
He could talk to you about
Al, which
anything,
I like Al.
and you want to just listen. Yeah.
Yes, he looks like a great guy. Anyway, gets called to an active shooter at Fountain Square. When he gets to the revolving doors, the fatal funnel, I think he's the first one there, which, I can't even imagine the adrenaline that's got to be coursing through your veins at that point. And
how would you like to go into a revolving door in an active shooter situation? That's even worse than a regular door.
And the
and
door.
If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, you know revolving doors are a really bad thing. R.I.P. Glenn. Spoiler alert.
This one was all shattered and broken, and there was a woman, a female, and her name was Whitney, and she was laying in the middle of the door, shot to shit, leaking blood, coughing blood. And as she writes it, she saw him coming and she just said, I'm going to try to reach out to him with my eyes. And she said, if I just look at him and let him know with my eyes that I need him and that I'm going to die without him, maybe he'll see me. Luckily for her, they make eye contact. He does a couple of quick peeks. He doesn't hear any more pop shots going off. He cannot drag her because of broken glass on the ground. So he steps into the fatal funnel and picks her up. So anybody that's ever been in the fatal funnel, that's when you go through the doorway, and all the bullets can easily go into the doorway, which you take up most of the doorway. So you're probably going to get shot. And we always say, get out of the fatal funnel for the citizens that are listening to the show. So it's not a good place to be. And as a cop, you were just trained and it's embedded in your brain to stay out of the fatal funnel. But this dude says, no, not today. He goes into the fatal funnel. He takes the time to actually pick her up. And then he carries her out to a marble fountain. He gets behind it, which is great cover. And he starts to assess the situation. Now, she's been shot 12 times. He doesn't know that. He just knows that she's been shot a shit ton of times. So he pulls his tourniquet out and he has no idea where to fucking put it. He's like, all right, which one's just bleeding the most? So he uses the one tourniquet he has, tourniquets it up, which, by the way, guys, go bags, put 3 or 4 tourniquets in there. You never know. So he tourniquets it up. He gets another officer to help him. They just start plugging wounds with their hands. She's kind of fading in and out. He grabs his cell phone. He's like, who would you like to call? Which I think is a very bold move, right? So he could have gotten emotional. He could have got caught up in things and just tried to ignore the reality. But his brain was like, no, you need to make some last calls here. Let's go ahead and take care of that. She calls the husband. She says, honey, my heart is beating very fast. I'm taking very deep breaths and my brain works. But other than that, I've been shot a lot of times. Get here quickly. And she just hung the phone up. She says to this day, she regrets doing that on the phone and that she would have taken time, but she knew that if she talked anymore, it might convince her to die. She also had 2 children. And so Al stayed with her. He kept talking to her. Al ended up going to the hospital with her, and he stayed at the hospital with her, and he came and visited her several times, brought her things. And now her and Al are like super best buddies. But that's a real Hump Day.
They play
Hero
Mario
story.
Kart on the weekends, I hear.
They do. Yeah. Actually, they play, what is the game with all the kids where they do all the shooting? The Taxi. I don't know. I don't game.
The Taxi? What are you talking about? Grand Theft Auto?
Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, they play Grand Theft Auto together.
Oh, you're going to tell me they try to recreate the situation?
Yeah, they do like a little active shooter. They're like, hey, let's drive to the Foursquare building and let's shoot it up.
You're
like,
a terrible human being. You know
That's
what?
I would do.
Somebody said in the reviews too, Andy didn't put this one up, that you are the like compassionate one, and I'm like
I am
the
compassionate.
a-hole. Like they didn't use those words, but here you are on the heels of the shooting story saying that Al and the shooting victim are recreating her getting shot up in GTA on the weekends.
No, I mean,
I said Mario Kart.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say that we got an active shooter and you got shot to shit, because I'm rescuing you. I'm not getting shot in this scenario. Fuck that. So I come and I rescue you, carry you off. I do all these heroic things. I get all the accolades. I get all the, I get everything, all the medals. I look like Eric Carter from Chicago superintendent. At the end of it, when you and I sit down to play games, I'm like, dude, let's go ahead and recreate this. But this time you're the active shooter and you're not going to get shot. So you're actually going to.
I feel like that would really stress me out. I would need to go see a therapist.
Well, you could listen to Failure to Stop with Mike the Cop and Eric Tansey. It helps your mental health, according to a high school JROTC student.
Good luck in science, sir. Can you salute with your left hand? Is that bad? What if I do this? Don't you hate I hate the weak salutes. I hate seeing cops do this at like a funeral service or something, and they do this bull crap, and it's like a bent hand. Oh my gosh, I hate it. I hate it. I want to kick them in their genitals and then punch them in the face. This is terrible. Stop doing that. If you're a cop and you do this, stop it. Quit your job and go work at freaking Tropical Smoothie, you idiots. This is dumb. And
that goes for EMS, firefighters, anybody in the profession. If you're going to salute, you straighten that wrist out. Let's go. It's a knife hand. Have some pride in yourself.
My gosh.
Come on now.
Man, you're looking like a freaking soup sandwich with your little half bent hand, half cocked little half moon hand on your face. Stop
I'm embarrassed for you.
Man, I am embarrassed for you. I'm embarrassed for the whole profession when you do that. Stop it. Leave the funeral right now. Don't come back.
Yeah.
All right. Thus ends the rant. All right. So we don't have a lot of time actually, because we have to get moving and head toward the real topic. And this isn't clickbait either about Dog the Bounty Hunter. I mean, he really is trying to find Brian Laundrie, however you say it. Do you guys know? I got Elijah and Andy in the room. Do you guys know how the news is saying his name? Anybody? Laundrie. It's spelled laundry with an IE.
Yeah, Landry sounds right.
Landry sounds normal.
Yeah,
Brian Laundrie, but I don't know. Whatever. Either way, Dog the Bounty Hunter has entered the chase. Now, I actually reached out. This was the text back that I got from my contact for him. Says because I asked about connecting Dog to actually come on the show today. So he said he's busy trying to do the FBI's job. I will try to get a hold of him. So he is a busy dude right now.
He's doing the Lord's work.
He is doing the Lord's work.
That is Dog the BH doing the Lord's work.
The only downside to Dog finding Brian is that when he gets him in the back of the car after he catches him, he's going to try to like change his life in the back of the car as opposed to shoot him in the heart.
Well, good, because maybe he didn't
be done with it.
Maybe he didn't even do it. Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. What am I doing? I'm jumping to conclusions, man.
Look, I think we live in a sim world.
It's my problem.
I think this is all fake. We're in a dream. We're in a fantasy. I mean, we're Dog the Bounty Hunter, one getting remarried, like just got remarried to a beautiful lady named, I guess her name is like Fair. She's got a John Deere tattoo on her arm. She's got blonde hair, big giant wabos.
That's strange.
And,
I haven't seen that before.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, at least he's staying on brand. He gets married. He's on his honeymoon in
Wabos.
Florida.
Man, I have not heard boobs nicknamed Wabos in a while. Or ever.
And he's on his honeymoon in Florida, but he's from Hawaii. So I guess people in Hawaii honeymoon in Florida, Florida honeymoons in Hawaii.
That's a long way to get the same exact climate.
Yeah. So he's on his honeymoon and he's like, wait a minute. There's a killer on the loose in Florida. Hell yeah. Guns up, giddy up. Let's get in the chase.
Well, not guns up.
I'm the new FBI. Oh, paintballs up.
Pepper guns up.
Pepper guns up.
Pepper
Can't
up.
stop, won't
Giddy
stop.
up.
What's funny is when he went and knocked on Laundrie's door, the mother called 911. And Dwayne Dog Chapman was very disappointed in her. And that's what he said to the media. I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. I mean, you don't disappoint Dog. He's out here doing the Lord's work. You don't disappoint that. So
my mom, God rest her soul, she loved Dog the Bounty Hunter. My daughter went to Halloween as Leland, right? The son one year.
Oh.
And it wasn't like, we were just talking about this at dinner last night. I think Halloween is the right way to say the freaking word. It's not Halloween. It's Halloween. It's how it's spelled. It doesn't sound weird. It is the way that's spelled, and it's the way that it's pronounced is Halloween. It's not Halloween. It's hallowed ground. It's hallowed. It's not Halloween. Halloween would be if I carved out a tree and I decorated it because it's hollow now. Yeah, I'm not talking about how it's Halloween. That's what she said. She said Halloween on Halloween. That's what she's saying. Anyway, the point is, some of my mom's last words to my children involved Dog the Bounty Hunter. One of the last things that ever escaped her mouth was an impersonation of Dog the Bounty Hunter's laugh at the end of the intro, like the ha, 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 ha. So like Dog is important to my family. I love this guy. So anyway, we can't get him on the show yet, but we are going. I am committed to get Dog on to do a full recap of whatever he's doing right now this morning in a future show. I want to get him on and have him recap the whole thing for us, but we don't have him now. So it's not clickbait. We're talking about it, but he's not here.
We in this sim world that we're living in, it would be awesome if your mom came back in a dream and like gave you clues to help Dog. She's like, you must help Dog. And she like gives you clues.
And I just
she's like,
get a one-way ticket to Florida.
She's like,
I'm not coming back till I find Brian.
She's like crooked palm tree, you know, at the end of the points. And you're like,
I get off the plane and I go find Dog, and he looks over at me and he's like, I've been waiting for you.
Like I had the same dream, you know.
I had some crazy lady in a wheelchair come to me in a dream and say that her son was coming.
But this isn't a dream. This is real life. He has a plane fly over Florida, over the campground. And it, you know, it's one of those planes that drags.
And you called this, by the way. You called this.
I did.
Yeah.
I
go back and listen, guys.
We'll go back to that.
Last week's episode.
Before Dog even got involved, I said he's going to be in the campground. But if the little plane, he hires one of those planes that pull the big flags. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
And so he hires one of those, and it's just flying around.
Where are you, Brian?
No, it says
on the flag.
It says,
on the little thing behind it.
This is real. This is real. It says Aloha, Brian Laundrie. Dog.
That's it, really?
Yeah, it says Aloha, Brian Laundrie. Dog. Because that's what he does. Like he's overtly like. And he's always been that way. He's like, no, there's no secret, dude. I'm coming to get you, baby. Daddy's coming. Let's go. And he just coaxes people out of underneath the rocks that comes out of the caves. But Brian's going to look up and he's going to say, oh, shit. Florida. Dog just alohaed me. He believes in me.
Osama bin Laundrie. He's coming out of
the listen,
caves.
I think if Dog the Bounty Hunter, gets Brian Laundrie, we definitely live in a sim world. This will be the next Tiger King. Mark it down. I'm going to lose my shit. I don't know what I'll do. I might do a whole show sitting right here butt naked. I don't know. I'll be so happy if Dog gets this guy.
Not sure why lack of clothing is the best way to celebrate that.
Well, that's how I do things here in Claytona Beach.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So before we get into the topic of manhunting, we have been subject to, well, it's been interesting. I've talked to you about this off air. I don't know if I've mentioned anything on it, but so on my YouTube channel where we put this, our podcast is streamed live on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. And we never expected much from Facebook. Most people don't sit on Facebook and watch 2 hours of a show. So people kind of come in and out on Facebook, and that's to be expected. But YouTube is somewhere where people would take time to engage and be in the comments and watch a whole show if they're fans of the show. So we have some Wolfpack members that are in here every week, and we appreciate you guys. And when this is happening live, we'll be putting your comments on the screen. And the thing is, though, since we have started doing the Failure to Stop show, the YouTube has been squashing the reach of everything that I'm doing. And it's been interesting to me. And now YouTube is taking another turn. They made the news by announcing basically a new policy that's coming, that they will be removing content and channels that have been critical, basically, of the V, if you know what I mean.
Or,
So now-
or just outspoken in politics right now. They're also saying that people who are giving out false or fake information or fake news, and we're talking channels. We're not talking like episodes. We're not talking clips. We're talking they're pulling the entire channel. You no longer have a voice. That's scary.
So this is coming. Now, here's the big question I have for you, and I'm curious your answer, because a lot of the pushback when you bring this idea of censorship up on social media, on YouTube, and it's like at all, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. The immediate pushback of a lot of people who are super pro-V at the same time will say, you guys are just being babies because this is like no shirt, no shoes, no service. They're a private company, so stop bitching and complaining. Either follow the rules or go make your own platform. And I gotta say, there is a kernel of that I actually wholeheartedly agree with in there. But what's your response when you sort of hear, well, if you don't like it, then don't say it, then don't do it. You leave, don't put your show on there. What's your pushback on that?
Phones, you can't lose your right to have a phone because it's a public service, right? So like Verizon can't just be like, okay, well, we're not going to let you talk on phones anymore because we don't like what you're saying. No, it's a public service. It's open to everybody. You can't lose your rights to talk on a phone. I think social media and maybe it's not all social media, but there's got to be some portion of social media that's just simply public access, because this is how we communicate. I spend more time communicating with people through Instagram Messenger, through Facebook Messenger, through YouTube Messenger. All your business is done through there. A lot of your news is broadcasted through there. And what a perfect opportunity, if you don't make it a public, kind of like a public domain, what a perfect opportunity for propaganda to really take over, right? So then you're only hearing one voice. You're only, and let's face it, every single human in America is on some sort of social media. Almost every single one. Even my grandparents who are anti-computer have access to see my family page on Instagram. So I think at this point it's a public utility.
Typing in all caps.
Yeah, I think it's a public utility at this point.
Liking every photo from 2014.
Yeah, I think it's got to be made a public utility, or at least some fashion of social media has got to be made as a public utility, because frankly, you can't even start your own social media because Google and Apple owns the big servers, and they can just not allow you simply. I mean, what was the new one that they tried to come out with that was like Trump's big thing, and they kicked the it wouldn't allow you to download it on app
Parler
services, Parler or whatever.
Yeah.
And so
which is back now, I think, but I don't know.
But highly censored. We're getting so Drinking Bros, the whole network is probably going to get pulled, I would imagine. And I mean, it's not even fair to them because they have guests that come on, and some are pro V and some are anti V. It's simply discussion, right? And let's take the V out of it and add something else. Maybe it's gun control. So are you saying we're not even allowed to have healthy debates and healthy discussions about these things?
Yeah, that's my pushback is right. That this isn't about the rules of like the language that you could use or not use, the type of content. Like it's graphic violence. Like, hey, on our platform, we don't tolerate graphic violence or sexual, like, because that somebody said like, well, then everybody should be able to put porn on YouTube then, because that it's freedom of speech. It's like, yeah, but this isn't about the discussion of ideas. We're not talking about what is being displayed. We're not talking about what is being promoted. We're talking about what is being discussed. The free exchange of words and ideas in a public environment, in an environment where it's accessible to the public. That's just like drunk driving in some ways, right? Like in a parking lot. Well, it's a private, like the grocery store. Yeah, that's their parking lot, but it's generally accessible to the public. People can access it. And so can you drive drunk on there because it's private? No, because it's generally accessible to the public, and you're putting the public at risk. So the laws extend to places in public because of that reason. So that's my parallel that I'm drawing to like YouTube or social media is like, hey, they have created a public space. There's no hindrance to create the account and engage in words. And so we can, if once we start letting words be dangerous to express ideas and opinions, then we're pushing ourselves, because then we have to ask, well, who's controlling that? Now, if we have government oversight of these things, these private establishments, and what's going on behind the scenes to drive this, now we're starting to inhibit free speech, which is really the ultimate issue for me when it comes to this thing.
Well, it's always going to be a gray area, right? Public access TV, least access TV. That's why you have those things, right? So public access means I can make a video of myself saying whatever I really want within reason, as long as I'm not swearing, cursing, or being overtly sexual in nature, because it's got to be content that even a child can hear. So I would say it's the same thing for public access TV as it is for YouTube. Like, you have to keep it PG. Now, least access, you pay to be there. There's some different rules with least access. You can start wearing branded clothing. You can do some other things. But also the time of when that content is allowed to go out as well, right? So I think least access starts probably after like 6 p.m. on public channels, whereas public access, and because what they're trying to do is saying like, okay, well, kids are going to be in bed at this time, so you can kind of put the rules, but there's still rules, right?
You can put the big wob. You can put the big wobbos on.
You
TV
can say wobbos. You still can't. You can't swear. And I worked in public and least access TV for a little while, and back in the early 2000s, late 90s. But so I mean, there are rules. It's not, it's a free for all. And that's the way I think YouTube and Facebook, I think those should all go by the rules of least access or public access. And to be honest with you, like, I think YouTube should have its own little public access where it's just like you and I put all the content that you want out there, unsponsored, unbranded. And then there should be a least access one where it's like, okay, these guys have got commercials. These guys have paid sponsorships. These guys are making money. And so they're the least access version of YouTube. Kind of similar what Time Warner was before it was just cable, when it was actually TV back in the old days.
Yeah. So this issue though, leaving the sort of like censorship part, which, hey, we're going to be on the receiving end of that. And on some level, like we've had an episode where we discussed this, but I think that we brought it up. It was Breonna Taylor breakdown. I think we discussed it as like, hey, we're not saying one way or the other. You do what you want. It's forcing. It's the issue of the mandate that is problematic for us. And I'm seeing it affect a lot of law enforcement officers or military. This forced V is where the big concern is for most people. I don't think most people in our culture, in our country, even in the world, really mind if someone decides for their health benefit that they want to do the V, get the V. It's when you tell me that I have to inject it in order to make a living, in order to function in society, that I have to put a substance into my body. Now we've crossed a line, and it's having a huge impact in the real world, especially law enforcement and military right now, which is what touches on areas we have experience with. I have a story, if you don't mind me reading it, of someone that just passed away, an officer that passed away after being having COVID-19. You care if I read this?
No, I don't care.
Oh, good. Just making sure. All right. I saw this on an Instagram account that I won't name because I don't want to get this guy heat from his department or whatever. But There's an officer, Frank Partita, and it says it's just a photo of the officer. He's LAPD. This is Officer Frank Partita. Frank passed away Sunday after a long battle with complications from COVID-19 infection. I'm told Frank chose for his own personal reasons to forgo receiving a vaccination. That was, I said the word. Dang it. My bad. For foregoing the V. Oh, Andy's going to cut it out. Oh, good. Yes. All right.
For the first time ever, we've cut something out.
And should be Frank's right and choice. Frank was my friend, and therefore his death hit me hard, and it weighed heavily upon my mind the other night when I fell asleep. While sleeping, I had a dream that Frank's chief of police came to the hospital where Frank was clinging to life and actually asked his wife if she'd do a video encouraging cops to get vaccinated. Yes, you read that right. While her husband was dying of COVID, the chief, or C, dying of C. I don't know what we're going to get targeted for. The chief asked her to record a message asking cops to get V'd, essentially using Frank's grave condition as a tool to further what many perceive to be a political agenda. Frank's wife, even in the face of such ill-timed and frankly heartless buffoonery, remained gracious and politely declined. In the days following, Frank was served by proxy, he was unconscious, suspension days for his involvement in an arrest of a suspect who had tried to murder 2 police officers within Frank's police station. Yes, you read that part right also. While a 16-year-plus veteran police officer was clinging to life, his department saw fit to serve him with suspension days, shortly after which Frank passed away. And then I woke up from that terrible dream. Or was it a dream? It seems so real. It was real. Let me convey my deepest, sincerest, and most heartfelt sympathies to the Partitas and apologize for the actions of the chief and the police department that Frank gave over 16 years of his life to. The insensitivity is breathtaking. Rest in peace, brother. You will be sorely missed. This is just enraging that this is where it's come to, that you are discounting an officer and his sacrifice and his service simply because he didn't want to go along with a mandate of the V. And you've talked to some officers recently who've gone that. I have another email that I want to share from a federal guy, but you encountered someone or had a conversation this week with another officer that's struggling through this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got another email from an officer who, and I'm going to be very vague here. I'm not even going to say how long he's been a cop. It's been I'll say he's been a cop over 16 years. Okay. I'm not going to get any closer to the date than that. And he is V'd. He got the V a while ago. I think he's even got a booster, but he is quitting. He's a senior officer, a senior ranking officer, and he's leaving because the department is forcing the other guys who don't want it to get it. And here's where I stand on that. Kamala Harris, who is the vice president of the United States of America,
supposedly
quoted, and I'm going to read a quote from her. This was from her lips, that she wouldn't trust a Trump V. Okay,
right.
She said that. She happily take a V that doctors and scientists recommend, but absolutely not one touted by, the other president.
45.
His name 45. But so she's allowed not to trust one.
It's going to be the
I'm
best
not
V.
allowed to trust one. So
this
she
V is beautiful.
She cannot trust. She gets the opportunity to not trust a Trump V, but I can't trust a Biden V, and I don't even believe that it's a president's V. I think this is, I have my own thoughts on what this V comes from. And there's reasons why I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it out of principle right now. And I'm going to stand till the end. There is a great, I have said this from the beginning. I was willing to die for my freedom when I was fighting overseas. I was willing to die for my freedom as a police officer. I'm willing to give up a pension. I'm willing to give up travel. I'm willing to give up all this bullshit that we think is important in this world to keep my freedom. I have to travel for Drinking Bro Sports. We go to a different tailgate, and if they mandate that I have to have it to get on a plane, I'm still not going to do it. And I make a lot of money podcasting for that show. The money is not what's important to me. It's the principles of freedom, and it's, preserving my freedom that's important to me. We're going to play a clip here from a Marine who is serving a life sentence for saying that exact thing.
Life sentence?
Yes. I'm sorry, not life sentence. He is in jail. I'm sorry. He's in jail right now. Dude, this Cardomax gets me all jacked up in the morning. He is in solitary confinement. Has landed him in solitary confinement. And we'll play the tape for you, and you can decide for yourself if you think if it deems him being in solitary confinement. And he wasn't even talking about the V. He was just talking about accountability. We'll play that here in a few minutes.
He was talking about accountability, I think, in regards to the Afghanistan thing.
It is, but this is my point this is my point. My point is there's people out there who got the V. That's fine. Great. Do it. I'm not against you. I'm not saying anything about it. For those of you who have written me and you have said, I really didn't want it, but I've been on a police officer for X, or I'm a new officer and X, I'm going to look you in the eye. I'm going to say shame on you. And I mean this with my whole heart. I still like you. We could probably still be friends, but I want you to know that I feel in my soul, those of you who sent me those messages, I feel in my bottom of my heart that you are a coward. And it's shameful because you put money and do you unfollow me, whatever. I don't care. You put money, you put a pension, you put a retirement before your freedom. You knew in your heart that you didn't want to do something. You didn't feel it was right. And you allowed money, you allowed material things. You put those before your freedom, and you were going to die, and nobody's going to remember your name. You are not going to be a legend. You're not going to be a hero. Nobody's going to remember your name. And you were going to be ashamed of that the rest of your life, I think. For those of you who are on the fence and you're like, man, I don't want to get this because I don't want it, but I need to get it because I have to keep my career and my family depends on it. I get it. I would hope that your family would understand. My family would understand. I would rather go homeless. There's a million jobs out there right now. Everybody's hiring. Everybody's hiring. And your dream job is not worth your soul. If Drinking Bros today told me that I had to denounce Christ, or if I had to denounce my positions on certain things in this world, and I have to do it on air, or I have to apologize for my beliefs, I would tell them to get fucked. I would walk out and I'd say, dude, I don't need your shit. I don't need your money, because nothing means more to me than my personal freedom.
Yeah, man. Tell us what you really think.
Woo!
You came in hot, Tansey.
Sorry, baby.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I think you have to live on principle. And anybody that looks back and says, I know my principle is this, but I caved because of this. Well, that you don't have to finish the sentence. If you caved on your principles, you're going to regret it. And you can't take it back. It's done, right? And that's true of any decision that you have a principle in life that you basically are guided by or claim to be guided by, and then you violate that for yourself. You cannot take that back. You have to own it. And the only thing to do is, at this point, is learn from it and go forward. But you can't get unV'd. It's done. You did it. You caved on those principles, and you have to hold to it. So whatever it is that you're deciding ahead of time is driving you on principles, well, then you got to stick with it. Otherwise, what's the point of having one or claiming to have a principle? And let
me be clear. I'm not talking about the people who wanted it and got it. That's you're a different breed. Like, that's fine. Like, great. I'm not calling you a coward. I'm not calling.
Yeah, no, you're talking about the people that say, I don't want it, but I did it anyway.
Yeah, I'm talking about the people who, and look, for those of you who didn't want it and you did it anyway, the only way you redeem yourself going forward is you support the dudes beside you. But I don't think you will. Like, I think you're probably going to be too much of a coward. And you're gonna be like, well, sucks. I know it sucks that they're going to fire you, but I got my V and I got my job. Well, congratulations. Yeah. And my thing, you've joined.
And that guy that you're talking to is willing to put his job on the line in solidarity with the other people that are losing theirs. Because
so what you should do is support that dude and say, you know what, man, I'm going to do what's right. And I'm going to fight for you. And
I think whether you get V'd or whether you don't, you can be doing that on principle. But own it. Own it. When you sit on the fence, that's where, like, well, are you a person of principle, or are you a person that is just blown about by the wind and kind of going to go where you think it's most advantageous for you? And that's problematic from a character standpoint. Someone else, a federal officer, reached out to me on email, and the title of the email is "Reaching Out for Help." Mike, I'm an avid follower of yours, and I appreciate all you do by showing support. I'm a federal agent, 20 years in the job I love. I found myself in tears and angered at the thought of being terminated if I don't get the V. A small group of us came together and decided to try and fight this mandate. We started out very small, and in a couple of days found thousands of people needing assurance and help. We have banded together, sought representation, and are looking for any way to gather the funds needed to take on this fight for thousands of federal employees that are at risk of losing all they've worked very hard for. I'm praying we get a legal defense fund up very soon. When that happens, can you help me anyway, in any way, by posting it on your platform or talking about it? I hope you can. Thank you for all you do. God bless. I will talk about it. And so we're talking about it now. And when that fund is available, we'll talk about it again on the show, because you're doing what we're talking about, which is standing up on your principles and saying, hey, I'm not giving this up. We're gonna fight it to the best of our ability against this, because this is contrary to everything we've poured our lives into as law enforcement officers. Like this. Yeah. This is an important issue.
I mean, I've got a really close friend, and he's got about 14 combat rotations. Tier 1 guy, E8, and is going to lose everything. He's at 19 and a half years, and he's taking the stand, and he's not going to do it. And the funny thing is, on the principle that he's going on, which he's trying to lead his troops, is that there's two different Vs made by the same company. Again, censorship. And you can look this up. One has been FDA approved, but that one is not available in the United States. It won't be available until 2023. Mm-hmm. The other brand of that same company is the one that everybody's getting here in the United States. Now, J&J, we're not even talking about J&J anymore, boys and girls. We're talking about booster shots. Get your booster, get your booster, get your booster. Guess who doesn't have a booster? JJ. So are we just saying that V is just garbage? We're not even going to talk about that one because there's no mention of JJV, the JJV, Johnson & Johnson. There's no mention of that in the news today. It's all about getting your booster, and J&J doesn't have a booster. So we're only going with one company at this point. And so we're saying, so are we going to say that V is
got to ask yourself, why are we only going with this one company? Why is this one company getting the attention? And I would suggest you look into that. Yeah. Look into that said company. Right. And who is involved in it, and who has been both involved in that and the federal government before?
Because we're all nobody.
I feel like I got a freaking tinfoil hat on, but you can't.
Right.
I'm not making this up. This is blatantly factual information.
So the media and the military are saying you have to get this V, and there's no excuse now because it's FDA approved. Well, my buddy went to the powers that be, and he says, no, guys, look. This is the one that's FDA approved. It's not available in the United States until 2023. This one is not FDA approved. So they said, okay, you're right. You don't have to get the V, but we're not going to mandate this across the board. It's going to be a case-by-case basis. And he was like, okay, fair enough. And he's like, but you're not allowed to email that out to anybody. You're not allowed to discourse it. And he's like, what? So then they bring him back in 2 days later and they say, nope, it's the same cocktail as the one that's FDA approved. So therefore, in theory, it is FDA approved, even though it's not. You're going to get the V. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And so why the non-transparency there? Why not say, okay, guys, like technically this one is not FDA approved, but it is because it's the same recipe as the one that is FDA approved. Well, okay, so then why is the one that's FDA approved not allowed in the United States till 2023 or available till 20? I mean, there's just enough questions that we should all be allowed to question things at this point.
Should you not be able to fully understand what it is that you are getting injected into your body? Should you not be afforded the opportunity to make what you believe to be is an informed decision, as opposed to a government deciding for you? You don't have a choice. It doesn't matter what you think. You must get this in you if you want to continue to be able to provide for your family, to be able to have the career that you've invested in. No ifs, no ands, no buts, no compromise, no discussion. It's done. And that is freaking scary.
It is.
And I mean, I don't know, a little cursory look at a couple of history books may indicate to you why that would be scary, or why that should at least raise a couple of questions in your mind about what the trajectory of this is and what the intent behind this is. And maybe it's innocuous, pun intended. But what if, but shouldn't we have a fair discourse on this? Shouldn't all voices be heard instead of silencing some? That's more concerning to me than, you want to convince me that the V is the best thing for me? Don't shut down the speech that would question it.
And
that,
let the
anything is going to indicate to me that this is exactly why I shouldn't be doing it.
You want to get rid of the yahoos that are conspiracy theorists, the Alex Joneses of the internet. You want to get rid of those guys. But you know what? Like, those guys are the ones that are going to compel me to actually get it, because I'm like, God, this dude is nuts. Like, let the nuts be seen as nuts, because then you're like, and I'm not saying Alex Jones is nuts. So, like, I know some of you guys are huge fans, whatever. I don't even personally, I haven't seen enough of his stuff to even know anything about him. So
the V's turning the frogs gay.
You forgive me for even bringing him up, because I'm just uneducated on that aspect. But my point is like, if somebody's being a wacko, I watch the flat earth stuff. You don't take that down. And I look, and then I at first you're like, oh, that's cool. And then you hear him get like super crazy.
Speaking of false
information, this guy's nuts, right?
Go down that YouTube rabbit hole sometime. The Flat Earth Society. Holy crap. So, that's a lot of entertainment right there.
Let the dum-dums be fooled by the dum-dums. And it's great, but we're freedom fighters. I see a lot of guys that they wear the flag on their shoulder, or the symbol of that they're kind of a freedom fighter, the grunt style. Dude, that's not just a t-shirt, that's a fucking lifestyle. So if you're gonna wear this stuff, you need to own it, and you need to be the man that's on that shirt. And if you're a freedom fighter, then you fight for freedom. And I'm not saying like physically fight, right? I'm talking like resistance and questioning authority all the time, and doing your research and diving into the news. And again, I'm not saying, I'm not a doctor. I am simply basing this on principle, and principle alone, because I feel like this is a very dangerous and slippery slope. And frankly, I did the anthrax V, and then the FDA didn't approve that one. So I've got this whole anthrax thing going through my body, which, by the way, I think we lost like 24 or something, like worldwide. I don't think it was any more than like 240 cases of anthrax worldwide. And there was nobody was getting anthrax shots except military dudes. So the V did not stop anthrax. Anthrax just simply didn't exist. And, that's where I stand on that. I think if you don't, if in your heart you don't want to get that V right now, just yet, until you have more facts, and they're not giving you enough time, this is where you take your stand. This is what your children will remember you for. And they'll say, my dad put his freedom first, and he wasn't afraid to suffer. I mean, imagine if the Patriots back in the day were like, yeah, you know what? I could just sit here and do my farm, and I'm pretty happy. I mean, shit, dude, I live off the grid. Nobody even knows I'm here. I don't really need to get wrapped up in that whole thing called the Revolutionary War. I don't need to do that. What if all of those farmers did that? We would all be talking like this, mates. How about another shrimp on the butt?
Oh, don't even get me started on Australian cops, man.
But before we dive into the next thing, let me run some of these ads. That's what keeps this shit show going. You know who doesn't censor us? Ghostbed. They don't censor anything. We have
USA.
Well, you're getting there. The rhythm was there. Your timing's a little off. We have had some ads some ads get a little bit upset with us, and that's okay, because it takes a lot to want to sponsor a show as kind of controversial as ours. Who thought in a day that having a podcast about policing and police related issues and having public discourse would be controversial? I don't know. But anyway, we do love Ghostbed, and they have been a loyal sponsor with the Drinking Bros for over the past 5 years. We are part of the Drinking Bros network. That's why I'm wearing the Drinking Bros podcast hat. Everyone raves about them. They're super comfortable mattresses that last forever. And my favorite part is that they're made in the good old USA.
USA. I did it. We did it.
Yeah, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
It wasn't. We were like in
no,
sync.
No, it's 15 weeks and counting. Still haven't nailed that part yet. Every mattress has a 20-year warranty. You can try it out for 101 nights, not 98, not 99, 101, baby. If you don't like it, you can send it back. No hard feelings, but you won't. One of our favorite parts about Ghost Bed is that each mattress has cooling technology in it. So if you get hot at night, like we do here in old North Carolina, these things are a lifesaver. You can stay cool while staying hard, man. That's my motto in life. Stay cool while staying hard in the Ghost Bed. Ghost Bed also offers bundles so that you can get everything you need. You don't even really have to think about it. Just choose from their 4 mattresses and pick your bundle. So whether you just need a mattress and a frame or you want it all, I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. They're cooling pillows, sheets. You can get the best bang for your buck. Right now, Ghost Bed is offering a flash sale for the new Failure to Stop podcast. 40% off, baby. Ghost Bed, 40% off. Have no idea how they stay in business with that. 40% off Ghost Bed bundles where you get a mattress and adjustable base, or 30% off everything if you use that code Drinkin' Bros. It's all capital letters, DRINKIN Bros at ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. $35 a month if you have mediocre at best credit. If you have Last Row Lopez credit, zero might be a little bit more. $35 a month, 0 down, 0% financing. Go and check it out. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. You get all the things, man. You get the adjustable base, 15 massage modes, 0 gravity, way less than the competition, 0% down, 0% financing.
Feel like an astronaut.
30% off if you get the free pillows. Look, guys, sleeping is important. You're a police officer, you're a first responder, you work your ass to the bone, you're blue collar. Treat yourself right at night and get that really good sleep. It helps. It makes everything better. And look, how can you support those around you if you can't support yourself? Get you a Ghost Bed, get you that rest. Next up, I'm high on it. I'm all jacked up on it.
You're all jacked up on Cardomax.
Because I've been up since 6 a.m., baby, which is not abnormal, except today I had to get up at 6 a.m. and get right into birthday party mode.
I threw all your fake medals off the bridge. I'm how hyped up on Cardomax, Chip.
I'm all hyped up on Cardomax. Because are your supplements leaving you flat? They leaving you down? They leaving you like, well, I wish Tansey would shut the F up.
Are you
Is he a little too excited? Are you dragging? Well, got something for you.
Do you have the 2 p.m. midday shift blues?
We get it. We've all been there. Life on the front lines, and you're on the front lines as a first responder. You got to step up your game, baby. Cardomax, owned and operated by former Navy SEAL, which is cool to be a Navy SEAL. Sean Matson is a Navy SEAL. Is going to be on the show next week. It's going to be a rager. We
wouldn't know, but
we're going to do an epic. We're going to do an epic SWAT breakdown from a Navy SEAL's perspective. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be a freaking fantastic show. We're putting all of our eggs in that basket. So next week is just going to be so exciting.
Sounds
but even better than being a Navy SEAL, he's a fellow drinking bro. Started out as a drinking bro, Navy SEAL. Now he owns Cardomax, designs just the right supplements for you. The energy intensifier, which is what I'm all jacked up on right now, uses the least amount of ingredients as possible.
Makes me all tingly inside.
It does. Absolutely no junk in there to give you energy that you need to optimize your workouts or whatever else you need. A boost for work, dealing with kids, some ungodly hour in the morning, night shift bullshit, driving the long haul, whatever it is. First responders, Cardomax will keep you going. That energy intensifier comes in an easy mixed liquid. They come in little packets. You get like a big bag full of little bags. You just squirt them right into your water bottle or your little shaker. I love the shaker. I carry it everywhere I go. Pink lemonade is my favorite. Also has blue raspberry, but they have B3, B6, B12, BCAAs, caffeine, all the vitamins that keep you going. Tastes great. Ingredients are healthy. It's made by a veteran and a drinking bro. And that's why we love Cardomax right now. Offering Failure to Stop 30% off.
Yeah, giddy up.
Use that promo code Wolfpack, all capital letters. Cardomax.com, promo code Wolfpack, all capital letters. That is CARDOMAX.com. And use that promo code Wolfpack, and you'll get 30% off your next 4 orders. And these are big orders. I think it's like 30 packets per order. Might be wrong on that. That's the packets I've been getting. I don't know if that's like an endorsement pass or something, but I think it's the regular one. It's a packet, and you get like 30 packages inside. So it's one a day. It's cheaper than coffee.
Supply.
It's a month's supply. Yeah. So you're going to get like 4 months supply.
Just north of $1 per serving, cheaper than your Starbucks mochaccino latte.
Yeah, the immune booster, it's a must right now during the pandemic. Keep that immunity high, baby.
I wonder if Sean's going to add pumpkin spice energy intensifier.
Dude, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? It would be a no-brainer.
'Tis the season.
Cardomax.com, helping you achieve your max. Last but not least, we've got Roman.
Raise your flags.
Raise your flags, baby. But look, we understand you're first responders. You go through a lot of stuff. You see a lot of stuff. Things can weigh heavy on your chest. You've got court dates. You've got homicide investigations. You've got rape cases. All the things that just weigh heavy on your heart. Maybe that leaves you a little
burns out all your hormones.
It does. So listen, this is why we brought Roman on, because it is something important. It's something that's not talked about enough in the first responder community. Squeaky doors, clogged sinks, finicky engines. When things break around the house, we all take care of it. However, when something's off in the bedroom, you just try not to think about it. You're grouchy. Your spouse is grouchy. Your loved one's grouchy. Everybody's grouchy. It doesn't help the community. It doesn't help yourself. It doesn't help anyone. So come on, man. What are you waiting for? Take care of it. We're talking about erectile dysfunction. Go to getroman.com/Wolfpack, all capital letters, right now. With Roman, you get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy
from a real professional,
from a real doctor, from your home. It's discreet, it's private, right in home. It's a U.S. licensed healthcare professional that will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If a medication is appropriate for you, it ships to you for free, 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to getroman.com/Wolfpack, all capital letters, and complete an online visit. Take care of your erectile dysfunction without leaving your home. Complete an online visit today. Connect with a healthcare professional and take care of it. It's really easy. It's really discreet. Matter of fact, had a fellow Wolfpacker reach out to me and said, "Hey, dude, I'm so glad you talked about that on the show the way you did, because honestly, dude, that shit's real to me. And I've been very embarrassed, but you kind of broke it down and I made the call, and I'm excited for the first time in a while. And I'm excited to make this thing happen." So, and that's what you need, dude. You need that excitement in life. It's like starting a new diet, right? Sometimes you just need a Kickstarter. You need something to motivate you. It's like watching Rocky 4. This is your wake up call.
Yes.
So if you go to getroman.com/Wolfpack, all capital letters, now you'll get $15 off your first month. It's really time to take care of it, dude, guys, girls. Actually, I don't think they do it with girls. This is a guy thing. This is a guy thing. But remember, get started today.
If you're a girl with erectile dysfunction, you are identifying differently. I don't know.
Yes. Well, take care of that.
I'm gonna watch myself and not make the sponsors angry.
Take care of it, guys. $15 on your first order of erectile dysfunction. Let's take care of it, guys. It's really important, and it's a serious subject. And don't be ashamed of it, man.
You can't overcome this by just sitting down and watching a bunch of Rocky training montages. You need help. You need professional help.
No, and look, it's not your fault that you have to see all that stuff. You have to go through all those adrenaline dumps, and the world owes you Roman.com. So take advantage of it.
Guns up,
next up, quickly, let's do you want to play? You want to talk about manhunting, or do you want to play?
I want to talk about manhunting. Let's throw this clip of this because I don't think it was directly related to the V. This is speaking out against authority. I think this is somebody standing on their principles. But head to Failure to Stop on our Instagram or our Facebook, and let's load this up. The show comes out at 11, and then we'll put this video up later in the day as well, and just throw some commentary and a caption around there to explain the context of what it is. But you're going to hear directly from the mouth of someone that spoke out asking for accountability from the military leaders, and we were talking about censorship for ourselves as content creators, or for cops who are on the job losing their jobs because of the V. This is related. It's in the same vein of being quieted because you're asking for your leaders to do what they're supposed to be doing. So we'll put that out on social media, because we can't let you be late to the ball there, Cinderella. You've got to get a gray suit on and go to a golf course. And so we got to get you moving. So let's hit the manhunt stuff with Dog the bounty hunter, Dwayne Chapman. And I already know the comment will come on YouTube. Like the real topic begins at, an hour and 5 minutes, whatever it is.
Doug the BH. Let's go.
Welcome to the show, guys. We talk about other things than just the main thing. This is the main thing. But what do you got for us? You love Dog the Bounty Hunter and you love what he's doing? Or do you think he needs to mind his own business? What do you think's going on? What do you think? What's your overall perspective?
I'm 100% in. Everybody else is capitalizing. We've all got the missing white girl syndrome. Just kidding. No, but I mean, it's why wouldn't you, right? There's a bounty on there. Why not get involved? I mean, we're in a sim world right now. So let's spice it up a little bit. I, for one, love a good manhunt. And I think once you've done it, like once you've trying to track down another human being, boy, that's an addictive game. And I would have loved to have been one of the marshals. The only reason I didn't is because my friend left to go be a marshal and he got stuck driving a judge back and forth to a courthouse in Washington, D.C. And I was like, nope, not taking that chance.
That was the same reason I never made the jump, because I was still young enough. I think the marshal cutoff is age 37. Yeah. So I was still young enough at the time in my police career. And one of my partners and I had a huge focus for a while on warrants. And it was like so fun to sort of play that game, right? Like you're literally hunting a person. You're trying to that person is trying to hide from law enforcement and you are trying to find them. And that's even more of a challenge when you have when you're limited jurisdictionally, right? Like we could only be where we worked, and so you couldn't just go wherever you wanted and do whatever you wanted. And so there was these kind of these boundaries set up quite literally, and trying to sort of catch that person in your boundaries who's trying to not do that. It's that's an interesting game and really fun to play. And that's man, I'm I want to be a marshal. If I could do this all day, hunt bad guys and then catch them when they're trying to hide from us or flee from us, that would be awesome. But I also found out from some U.S. Marshals, they're yeah, I thought the same thing. And now I ride a desk and listen to surveillance tapes all day long. I don't I don't even bring my gun to work anymore. I'm a shell of a man. It's not all Tommy Lee Jones. I thought I would be Tommy Lee Jones. And it turns out that there's a lot of just, little desk work involved.
And a lot of times the marshals will just get line officers to serve those warrants, especially if they know where somebody is. They're hey, he's in this hotel room. Mind if we stack up with you and go get him? I've done several that way in Raleigh. I never put in for detective because of the sheer fact that you don't get to choose where you go. And my luck, I would get fucking child sex crimes or something heinous. So I never put in for detective because I enjoyed being on the line and being where I was at, because I had a beat bag and my beat bag was full of warrants, and four out of the 10 warrants in my beat bag would literally be on the people on the top 10 list. And so we had a top 10 list of most wanted in Raleigh, and there would be a little asterisk that say who's working that. And if there was somebody already working it, you really didn't want to step on their toes, you could maybe call them and say hey, do you want some help? And they'd be no, because we've got some good leads. We don't want uniform guys to fuck it up, because we've already got our sources here. And so you'd find one that wasn't and work it, and just let the sergeant know, hey, it's going to be a slow day today. I'm literally just going to work this warrant all day. And your sergeant would be dude, go for it, man. Whatever you need, let us know. If you need the jump out van, if you need the surveillance van, whatever you need, spend 2 days on it. We don't care. There's not really much going on. Have at it. And that's what I always enjoyed. But being a cop, when you're doing the manhunt, when you're hunting, it's like playing hide and go seek, but you're not allowed to look in cabinets or in closets. Those are the amount of restrictions that are on you. Whereas Dog the Bounty Hunter, he doesn't have to deal with the bureaucracy. He doesn't have to deal with the bullshit. So he can play hide and go seek, and he can open up cabinets, and he can open up closets, and he can do all the things that cops can't do. And that's why I think that either
yes and no, right? If he's actually less restricted on this one, because he doesn't have any legal attachment to this guy. So if Brian, if he had been, so if you guys don't understand how this works, maybe you've heard of bounty hunting and you're maybe you don't actually understand it. So let me give you a bounty hunting 101. Basically, someone is arrested for crime X, they pay a bond, where they are bonded out from the court system, essentially promising to return for another portion of their criminal proceeding. And so they're out on, you've heard the term out on bond, right? So the bondsman pays for the bond a certain amount of that. If your bond is 10,000, a lot of places it's 10%. So the bail bonds person has to put up usually more than that to secure that bond for the subject who is accused of the crime. The accused criminal is free to go about under certain restrictions. Maybe the bondsman has conditions of fronting this bond money for somebody. They have to check in. They have to be available. Someone else usually secures that bond. You hear like a co-signer. So like mom and dad of the accused criminal is like putting up their car or their home, some asset that if this person doesn't show up to court or skips out on their bond, that they're going to be able to get that money because the bondsman is on the hook to the court to pay if that person doesn't show up. And so Dog the Bounty Hunter and his bail bonds business is fronting this. Or there's been, if you go back and watch the show, but this is the case too, you're a bounty hunter if you are going after people who have skipped out on that bond, and the bondsman, whoever secured that bond with the court, is going to pay you a percentage to go find that person. And so Dog is both of those things, I believe, a bondsman and a bounty hunter. So they're not synonymous. But if Brian was somebody that he had bonded out, well, now he has a lot more legal leeway to force entry into places and go to a certain distance to find that person. And he has some legal guidelines, I guess, as it were. There's laws that guide in different states what he can and can't do, where he can and can't enter to go get Brian based on the fact that he skipped out on a bond that he's on the hook for. But in this case, he's not connected to the case directly. So he's just out there freeballing it. Dog's freeballing.
He's going
he's roaming. He's roaming. He's a junkyard dog.
He's doing it doggy style.
He's out there.
Do you like that?
So
By the way,
that's your
wife,
education on bounty hunting 101.
His new wife has a John Deere tattoo. I think I said that already.
Yeah, you did.
I just want to reiterate that she has a John Deere tattoo on her shoulder. And I think that's amazing. It's pink. So he's going to find her, man. He's all in. And he's going to have a good time doing it. And this is his legacy. So I can't wait for the documentary. I can't wait to have him on our show to talk about it. I hope we get him on the show.
So what do you said the campground, and then Dog's focus has shifted to that. So talk about that. Like what do you think is drawing everyone to the campground, and why don't you think the FBI has keyed in first on that, or do you think they maybe did and they just
we're never going to know what the FBI is keyed in on and what they're not. Like, we don't know, dude. They're under surveillance cars. They've got they're tapping phones. I mean, the FBI is on it too. The reason why you're not hearing anything on the news and the media is because they're fucking on it, man. These guys got some of the best technology in the world. These FBI agents, they're wanting to hunt this dude, and I love how people are kind of shitting on the FBI, dude. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you're FBI, you're street cop, you're detective. If you get the opportunity to hunt a human being, you are all in on it as a cop. That is the best thing that there is to being a police officer. It is the greatest thing on earth. So everybody is doing their best right now. And I would argue that the FBI just has more equipment. I just think they have a lot more restrictions. And I think a lot of things that they're trying to do at this point is because there's an attorney involved. They don't want what happened with O.J. Simpson to happen, whereas every little piece of paper and every detail is going to be scrutinized to the point where the jury has been retarded. They had retarded the jury, and they just do like, I'm just not comfortable with any of this, not guilty. That's what they're so focused on right now, is not retarding the investigation from the eyes of the jury. So they are trying to dot every I, cross every T, do all the things exactly by the book, because the media's on them and the Laundrie's attorneys are on every single move.
Do you think Dog finding him would be a problem? Do you think if he finds this dude? Well, first of all, do you think he can jump on top of? Do you think he can jump on Brian as a citizen? I don't know Florida law, citizens arrest. Can you just jump if you see if if a listener, if one of the wolf pack today is in Florida and all of a sudden they see Brian at some stab and grab in South Florida and they're like, holy crap,
that doesn't even happen that way.
And they jump on top of him and say like, this is a citizen's arrest.
No, Dog the Bounty Hunter doesn't roll that way. Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to see Laundrie. He's going to see him in the old convenient mart and he's going to go, hey brother, I've been there before, bro. I've been there, dog. I was in the gangs, brother. We can work this out, brother. Yeah, it's time to face the facts, baby. Come on in, sit in my limousine, and let's talk before I put you in handcuffs. I want to have a chat. Limousine? Oh, dude, he's always in something grandiose. His Hummer, his lifted Hummer.
Suburban, isn't it?
His 2 daughters aren't talking to him. Not sure if his sons are talking to him, but that dude with the long ponytail and the paintball gun, he's standing there in security. And Brian Laundrie, he doesn't want any part of this, but he's like, you know what, just to make this all go away, what do you want to talk about? It's like Oprah. It's like Dr. Phil. He sits in the back of the car and he's like, hey man, look, she was clawing at me. I'd had enough of her shit. It was a long road. I freaked out. I hit her in the face. It killed her. I'm going to the jail for the rest of my life. Hope I don't get the electric chair. And he's like, brother, we've all been there. No, we haven't. Never mind. You're fucked. You're under arrest. And it's going to be it. I don't know. It's a sim world. We never know what's going to happen. I'm going to get canceled today because I called some people cowards, I guess. I'm not looking forward to that. And I feel bad, but I also feel like I have to be honest of how I feel. It's not that we can't be friends. It's just Are
you already getting messages about it or something?
No, but I just know
it's only us 4 in the room. We got me.
I mean, you, remember
and
2 weeks ago when I
nobody
said
listening to this yet.
I said something like my stances on gun laws and abortions or something like that, and everybody was like, "You're a left-wing nut," and I got now I'm just
you're gonna go from the far left to far right today.
I don't even know what it is, dude. And but frankly, I don't care because I watched this lieutenant colonel. When he's sitting in solitary confinement right now, he spoke his mind, and I'm tired of being the silent majority, man. And I want my voice to be heard. Black Lives Matter was allowed to do it. They were allowed to burn cities down. I have too much couth and too much. I'm a civil guy in a civil society, so I don't feel like I need to burn stuff down or break things to get my point across. I think we can all articulate what we're thinking, and I think it's time for the silent majority to just start articulating what we feel and how we act and not be afraid of getting fired. I mean, there was a cop that came up to me this weekend in Nashville and he was like, guns up, giddy up, dude. I love that show, bro. I don't think he knew that I was the host of the show because we're a voice, we get over 100,000 listens a week. And we get minimal YouTube views. So I don't think a lot of people know visually what I look like.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So he was like, dude, oh my God, I love that show. I listen to that podcast too. I was like, dude, yeah, guns up, giddy up. I was like, dude, you want to get a selfie with the shirt? And he was like, oh man. To be honest with you, dude, no, because our leadership knows what that show is, dude. And I was like, dude, that's
we need a new intro. Failure to Stop podcast, hated by police admins everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're an IA dream team. We're IA legends, bro. Internal affairs legends. But, I think it's time that these cops say, no, you know what? I do stand up for what these guys believe in, and I am going to get my picture with the community, and I am going to be a community police officer and not do things the way government wants me to do it, because government has ulterior motives for how they want policing to be done and how they want to see things. And I got fired for opening a distillery. I could have resigned. I got fired. I went 2 years without a paycheck. I cashed in my 401k. I did the food stamps thing. And look, dude, it paid off for me. And it's because I had faith in what I was doing. I knew what I was doing was right. And I wasn't ashamed. Now, if I would have gotten fired for stealing or for lying and I had to collect welfare, it would sit shitty in my stomach, but that's not what it was. It was, I own a distillery in another county, and I did not feel or believe in my heart that was unbecoming of an officer, especially when I was officer of the year. Thought if anything, it made me a better cop and it made me a better person in my community. So I went ahead and let them fire me instead of resigning. And it's the best decision I've ever made. And I'll be able to look my children in the eye and say, dude, I wasn't scared. And you have to do what you believe. You have to follow your heart. And I hope that after this episode, if you're out there, I hope that you go forward and follow your heart and follow what you truly believe is the right thing to do. And you can argue with me. You can say, I just truly believe that this is the right thing to do because I can be a better help to my community. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. Great. But if
Dog is following his heart, and he's following
Dog is
Brian.
following his heart.
Look
what he did.
He's on a manhunt. What is some of the my experience in manhunting? Like I said, we were chasing people with warrants, and we would look for the good stuff. We're not talking about driving with a suspended license warrant. I mean, like, that's fine, whatever. Like, you skipped out on your responsibility, and I don't feel bad for anybody who skips out on their responsibilities and gets caught. But we were looking for people. My favorite warrant to go hunt, my favorite person to hunt was someone who had assaulted another human being. That was my favorite. They had committed an assault. Well, allegedly. Let's use the right lingo here. They were an alleged assaulter, or maybe they had already been, convicted and they had some terms of court that they skipped out on or whatever. But that was my favorite. If you had harmed another human being, I loved catching you, and I felt like I had actually made a difference. You are somebody who's out there assaulting people. Like, you're such a tough guy that you're like beating up a woman in your relationship. You're so tough. I loved finding you hiding like a little bitch in a bathtub or in a bush or wherever you were hiding from us when we found you. I loved calling you out on being a little bitch because you're so tough when your wife is, or your spouse or whatever. You're so tough when she doesn't live up to your expectations that you can put hands on her, and then you hide like the coward you are. And I loved finding people who had assaulted or harmed other people when no one else was there, better than them, bigger than them, tougher than them, to put them in their place. And I absolutely love that more than any other aspect of the job. I mean, I became a cop because I love catching. I wanted to catch the bad guys and use my personality skills and learn that game to catch the bad guy. That should be every cop's like reason. I think like catching bad guys is community policing, and I loved finding that. That was the exhilarating for me to do that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I like to find them, and when they were like being like a little bitch, and then you would get up to them and be like, "Dude, you're not gonna run?" And they're like, "No, I would never run." I'm like, "Damn, I kind of wish you would." Because then we could lay hands a little bit. But they always go. Like, my favorite one, my favorite manhunt ever was a lawyer on a really nice side of town in Raleigh. I got duped into taking this call. Everybody was on traffic accidents, and there was just a shit show going on. And I got called to this very rich neighborhood, and I was kind of in a bad mood for getting there. And the woman answers the door, and she's like, "I just got back from Vegas. I had my Louis Vuitton bags. I only took the one Louis Vuitton clutch, and I left the rest of the package deal that she got from Louis Vuitton as a wedding gift on the bed." And she knows for a fact that she did this, and the bags were missing. And I was like, "All right, well, how much are these bags worth?" She's like, "Well, the medium bag was $6,000, and the larger bag was like $8,000." And I was like, "What the fuck?" So I was like, "Well, was the doors broken, or is there anything?" So we walk around the house, all the windows are locked. The doors were locked when they got home. There was nothing 4th century. And I'm like, "Ma'am, honestly, I mean, this isn't like, Gone in 60 Seconds. People aren't just like hot wiring into this really rich, fancy house, like turning your alarm off, going to go into your room, grab these kit bags, and then come out and reset everything and do the whole 9 yards. Like, it doesn't make any sense." And so we look around the house, we look under the bed, and she's like, "No, listen, I'm not crazy. I did this." So I said, "Okay, well, I'll look into it." Right. And so I get to my car, and I'm like, ugh. I call a pawn shop, and I get super lucky. I call this one pawn shop. It's not even the closest pawn shop. It's actually the one pawn shop that I figured it would happen. And I was like, "You guys got any Louis Vuitton bags and, that are this color and this?" And she was like, "Actually, yeah, we had 2 of them come in about 4 days ago." I was like, "No shit." I was like, "Can I come look at them?" She's like, "Sure." So I write down the little serial number that match the bags. I go to the store. It's
serial numbers on purses.
Yes, these are Louis Vuitton bags. They have like little code numbers on them because it's a matching kit, and you sell them together. They're all made by the same.
Man, that's nuts.
Like seamstress or whatever.
I could have $1 million in my bank account. I'm not buying it. Well, I'm not buying a purse, period. Or am I? So, but I just feel like that's silly. Like, I don't know what. It's just nuts, man. That's too much money for a
her
bag.
husband's a lawyer, and she's like
So
an anesthesiologist
so
or something. So and so I go and I find the purses, and I get them, and the pawn shop's like, "Damn." But I look at the tape, and it's this smoking hot blonde chick walking through. And I mean, it's great video footage. And I mean, she's dressed to the hills. She looks beautiful. She's got those big giant bug eye glasses on. So, but that's all I got. She didn't leave a name or whatever. So I take the image.
They didn't take her thumbprint or whatever.
No, we don't do that in North Carolina. So I take a video of her. I take a video of her on the little screen here, and I take it back to the lawyer, and I was like, hey man, do you guys know this? And he's like, no, I have no idea who that is. I was like, well, she pawned your fucking bags. So he gets a hold of the wife. The wife meets me. And again, I'm driving all over town doing these things. So I drive to the wife and I'm like, hey, does this lady look familiar? And she's like, no, not really. I was like, well, she pawned your shit. And then about, I don't know, an hour later, I get a call and she was like, you know what? That lady, I now know who that lady is. And I was like, who? And she was like, the night before we left, we had a bunch of friends meet us at our house and we all walked downtown. And this was my friend's girlfriend. And she all went out on the town with us. And I think I let her back to the house to go to the bathroom. I told her where the key was. And she probably came in, saw the 2 bags, put the bags in her car because she parked there, went back out on the town with us because we burnt the town down to like 2 a.m. And then I flew to Vegas that morning. And I never even noticed that my bags were gone. And I was like, no shit, this is awesome. So now I've got this girl's name. And I'm trying to find her and I call her and I'm like, hey, we're the Raleigh Police Department. We've got this weird case going on. It looks like you were at the same bar at the same time. And we just want to see if you witnessed anything. She's like, well, I was never at a bar. I didn't see anything. And I was like, well, this is definitely you. And we have a receipt with your name on it that you were at this bar. If you'll just come and put on the statement that you didn't see anything, we can kind of close you out as a witness. And that way we don't have to go knocking on your door and send a text out there. And she's like, you'll have to call and ask my mom. And I was like, you're 24 years old. She was like, yeah, it'd be better if you just call my mom. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I don't want to cooperate. So I was like, damn, not going to get her that way. And I had warrants for her already. So I found her on Snapchat and she snaps everywhere she was at. And so she snapped that she was at lunch and her snap was like, love being a daddy's girl, hashtag never pay for dinner. And she's at like Coquette and it was for brunch or never pay for brunch. So I go to this nice fancy brunch place. She's not there. They recognize her and they're like, I go and talk to the waitress. I was like, hey, so did you serve them? She's wanted. This is what she's wanted for. And I made up like some kind of crazy bullshit that she was wanted for, like some heinous crime. And the waitress is
slaying
like,
17 people in a trailer.
They're like, she said that they were going to leave here and go get their nails done. So I literally look up fanciest place to get your nails done in Raleigh. And this place comes up and I walk to the place and I walk inside. And it is like 100% Asians. And then this one screaming blonde hot chick sitting there. And she's looking at me. And I call her out by name. And she looks at me with these big wide eyes. She gets up. She runs. I chase her. She goes out like the back door.
High heels on or flats? What's going on?
Flats. We go out the back door. This black dude is backing his car out. So this is like, and the reason I say black dude is because this is like predominantly whites area. And he's probably the only black dude. He's surrounded by whites and Asians at this point. So he's backing out of his spot and like kind of like looping the car around like as you do when you back out. And as he's looping around, she runs into the back and he thinks almost like he hit her. He's like,
oh, so he's not trying to help her get away. It's not her getaway driver.
No, he's just backing up, but he's got his head back, so he doesn't even see her run out the door. She smacks into the car. He thinks he just hit somebody. He sees me come out the door. His eyes are this big. He's like, what did I hit? So he opens the door. She gets up off the ground, runs, and I was like, stop, police. He starts running behind us going, baby girl, don't do this, baby girl. I've been there, baby girl.
He's giving her a dog the bounty hunter speech.
He's dog the bounty hunter.
He goes full dog on her.
I end up just waiting until she just walks. She finally starts to walk and I put my hands on her. I handcuff her. She weighs like 110 pounds. She's a smoke show. She's got, like 9,000 followers on her social medias and everything. And she's crying. And anyway, I felt amazing because I spent all day tracking down this ridiculous bougie daddy's money, stealing purse girl. Living it large on Instagram. Her Instagram was full of like her standing next to Lamborghinis, like living the lavish life. I'm rich. Now you're in jail, bitch.
Nice. I
Hope
like
you can
it.
afford a good lawyer.
I never had that great of a scenario unfold. I mean, I found people in crazy spots, like one dude in a KFC parking lot, and that was a fun fight. I'd arrested him multiple times, but I found somebody.
Did he try to tase you and then you shot him in the KFC?
No. That was just straight up hand-to-hand combat on that one. No impact weapons or firearms involved. But one of the things that popped into my head while we're talking about manhunting is looking for some dude in a house, and I actually missed him the first time, but he was hiding in like the furnace laundry room in the basement in a giant pile of laundry. And it was like, the ET scene where he's sitting in all the stuffed animals. So it's like this dude just like hiding in this pile of laundry. And I was so freaked out. My heart dropped because I recognized that I had missed him on the first pass, right? Like somebody's like, oh, hey, Mike. And like so there's two of us in this basement and he notices him. And it's like, you look over and the guy's still playing it off, right? He's not sure if he's caught because he's just calling my name, and like he's kind of like doing the thing with his eyes, like looking down like at the laundry thing. Like he can't point because he doesn't want the guy to, like, obviously if the guy's armed or whatever else, like we're in a really weird situation right now because we're trying to find this dude who's wanted for whatever. And it's like, oh man, if he's got the drop on us, really, if he's got a weapon in this pile of flannel. And so like, and I just like jump on top of the pile, like from like this weird angle so that he doesn't see me coming yet. And yeah, we've caught people in laundry. The worst, and we've talked about this, is having to go up into an attic, people hiding in the attic and the insulation. That is terrible, but we have a funny story. I don't know what episode was that we went through that whole story where you were had somebody running through, but yeah.
It was the one where you got USA right, probably.
I thought that's never happened. There is that. But my favorite ones were like those were always fun when like weeks would go by and you're like constantly trying to pick up patterns of where people are coming, who they're coming in contact with, getting people to give you little bits of information who don't want to give you any information, but they give you enough to like tick the case one step closer to finding them. And it would be like weeks go by and then finally you find them at the right place in time and all that stuff. So always fun. But I love the actual in-person manhunt of like, oh, they just robbed a store and they ran, and like you've got the canine or you've got a group of people, like you have the perimeter set up and you've set it up perfectly and you track the person.
You're looking in the dumpsters, you're going into the bushes trying to find him. You're like, he's there. Everywhere. He's in that area and you're going to find him. You're looking in ditch culverts and dude, that's the best, man. That's
everywhere. And I've got two.
Mike, do you have any pictures? Do you have any pictures of you like on a manhunt with canine or anything?
I don't know. Pictures? No, I don't think I ever stopped and took a picture. I do have two different canine tracks stand out of my mind. One stands out right after they robbed a stat. This is a serial person. Like they were hitting party stores, and like I don't know if they have these in North Carolina. In Metro Detroit, they have like these drive-through. Like they started out, there used to be a place to like get milk, like Milk and Goes, like, and they would have primarily milk and beverages or whatever, and then it had like small like household staples. So you would drive through. Do you have any of those? So you drive through, get your stuff, and so you don't. It's not a convenience store that you go inside of. It's just you pull up, get your stuff, and go. And
we're not
that
lazy.
And other places had been getting these armed robberies. Well, this guy had done that, and I was like, when the call came in, literally like 15 seconds from the place. So I'm like, oh yes, it's on. And so we get the perimeter set up, get all this stuff going, and the canine shows up, and it was a newer dog, younger dog, and I was too close to him. So like the track starts, and I was just in the wrong position for an excited dog, and he clamped down real quick on my thigh. And I'm gonna say that you would much prefer a sleeve than raw flesh for the dog to snap into. And we didn't catch the guy that night.
That's always.
But there was the other canine thing that comes to mind is there was a winter time with snow on the ground. For whatever reason, this guy's shoes, after he had robbed a place and stole, I can't remember the money, the amount of money that it was, but it was like out of the cash register, right? So the guy at the store was like, yeah, it's about this much money that he got.
Right.
and put it in a bag or whatever. And he took off running this way. So me and the canine are hopping fences, moving through the yards, following this track. And we notice in the snow, there's like these red marks. And we thought maybe it was blood. And it turns like the dog literally, we go, I don't know how far it was. Like, let's say that it was like a half mile, right? Of yards, fences, snow, tracking. And it was like so exciting. And I'm not a hunter, but I was like, man, this is what it must be like to like track an animal that's like wounded or something like this. I'm just following this blood trail. The dog's got the scent. I'm like, this is awesome. And it goes right to the front door of a house. And so we knock on the door and there's this guy sitting on the couch. So that somebody at the house answers the door and there's this dude sitting on the couch inexplicably in the living room. And he's got red shoes that for whatever reason, because they were getting wet from the snow, the dye from the shoes was, I don't know, they were like knockoff Jordans. I don't know what it was why the red from the shoes would be bleeding off of it. And he's just sitting there like out of breath, like trying to play it off. Like he just belongs on this couch in this big puffy coat, sitting there with a bag of money next to his feet.
Can't make it up.
Like, I'm like, what are you doing here? I don't know, man. Just chilling. Like, well, you got some red shoes there, huh? Like, yeah. And why are they all wet? I don't know. I've been here for hours. With that bag of money, do you carry that bag of money next to you all the time? Yeah. And yeah, man. So like the exhilaration of both from a distance, trying to, like you did, like piece together the case in the moment, you're trying to find someone, or in the moment of like the actual capture of someone you're hunting. It is, man, it is truly the best.
It's so fun
in police work, man.
Well,
absolutely love
like,
it. And Dog is out there getting to do the fun stuff right now.
It sounds like your guy was wearing the LeBrons. He probably should have put on the Jordans that night.
Does LeBron have shoes? I don't know.
No, but if he did, they would bleed away in the snow because they're soft. Because they're soft shoes.
Ridiculous.
No, man, the manhunt stuff, it's always so fun. Look, I'm going to post a picture of that girl. It was the picture that I used, that I took from her Instagram, that I showed that I was showing people, like the waitresses and stuff. I'll post. I don't remember the girl's name. I'm allowed to do that though, right? Like I can post a picture that I took from her Instagram and post it on our photo.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. That's probably not how that song goes.
Is that a real song?
But look, man, it's 10:06. I've got to go to a wedding rehearsal at 11 a.m. at a country club. I'm gonna try the LeBron James Never Heard of Her shirt at the country club. Not sure. I mean, I was just at Kid Rock's golf course this weekend with the Drinking Bros. No dress code. So Kid Rock was out there.
Well,
with
he was shirtless. I saw your photo of him golfing
dope.
Shirtless. So.
He was dope. John Daly got completely hammered. Grabbed the microphone on the stage, tried to sing something. It was great. Got off of the stage, came over to me, grabbed me. I ended up just taking a selfie while he's yelling nonsense into my face.
I did it my way.
I was the only sober cat there. But it was really cool, man. There was a bunch of celebrities there. It was for the Special Operations Transition Foundation. And what a great cause. Rob O'Neill.
Special operators going from men to women, or what are they doing?
No, it's from them going from being in the military, from getting fired for the V to finding a real job. But yeah, Rob O'Neill, the guy who killed bin Laden, was there. And I got to hang out with him a lot. Ray Cash Care was there from the History Channel. He's also a Navy SEAL, and he was on the History Channel Selected show. We got to hang out with him for a couple of days, and that was great. Dude's a party animal. Dan Holloway was there. Ross Patterson. I mean, dude, so many people.
Wow, you're flexing so hard right now.
It was so cool, dude. I don't get around that many celebrities. What's the baseball player for the Boston Red Sox? Shit,
Bro,
I forgot his name.
I don't know.
His name was fucking. I don't know.
Poppy, Big Poppy.
No, Damon. Something Damon, not Matt Damon. What is it?
Matt Damon.
Some Damon. I don't know.
I don't know. Yay, sports. I have
famous,
no idea, man.
Famous baseball player with the last name of.
Is
Damon.
it John Jones? Yeah, he's been in trouble with the cops lately. The UFC fighter.
I don't know.
I only know combat sports. I don't do the other stuff.
It's cool. He's like all these it was only basically
Damn.
celebrities, cool. And everybody was like somebody, and so a lot of people would come up to me and be like, "Oh, and who are you? What do you do?" And I'm like, "Nothing."
I podcast.
Nothing. It's Mike the Cop. You ever heard of her? No. Okay. Well, you definitely haven't heard of her then, so don't worry.
Well, we have a lot more to discuss when it comes to bounty hunting versus policing, and we will we are committed to getting Dog on the show. I think you will. I
Can't
think
stop, won't
I think
stop. We'll hunt him down. We'll
hopefully
hunt him down.
We will hunt Dog down. We'll
We'll fly a
hunt
plane
Dog.
that says Aloha Dog
Aloha Dog.
dash failure to stop. So
Guns up, giddy up. Google
Guns
failure.
up,
We
giddy
can't
up.
stop, won't stop until we
head
find
over
it.
there, grab some merch, use that promo code GU all capital letters, get you that 15% baby on that badass merch.
Oh,
Head
I
over
think
to
Andy's got the
Drinking
photo of the thing. There it is.
Aloha, Brian. Aloha, Mr. Laundrie. Dog. Dude, you know you're fucked when he's flying a plane like that around. You know it. You know your time. Your time is near, my friend. He's on you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time. Guns up, giddy up.
Is that what we say?
How do we want to close
At the
this?
end?
I don't remember.
That sounds good.
From Eric
Guns up,
Tansey.
giddy up.
Wait, is it? What do they do on the news? From Mike the Cop, I'm Eric Tansey. Until next time.
I'm Mike the Cop.
I'm Mike the Cop.
F you, YouTube.